Wow, I am live. Better late than never. Actually, what? Would I miss my mark by a minute or 2 minutes? Oh my God, I had a coffee emergency, folks. You can understand that. I had to go and grab my morning libation. Mm. Woke up a little late last night, and this is the result. Let's see who all's in the live. Let's see who all decided to. Daisy Lynn, number one in the stream this morning. By the way, Dan is live from the bedroom studio of the Philippines. Bye bye, City Leyte. And we have been joined by the incomparable Daisy Lynn Castro. Oh, let me see if I could adjust my camera a little bit. See, that's what happens when you're late to work, right? When you're late to work, all of a sudden, everything, you forget to adjust your microphone and your camera. And Knitban is back. Knitban, are you still overseas? You back in Folsom, California? Thamsak, miss you from Daisy Lynn. I miss you too. I miss Daisy Lynn too. I keep missing her live streams because I get up in the morning, and then when Daisy Lynn goes live with her beautiful voice, I'm always over at the Dunkin' Donut, and so I'm sitting there drinking my coffee, and then I get involved in conversation. Sunshine, thank you so much for being here. Superman, thumbs up from Superman. And we have Flower Daisy. Daisy Lynn's, what is it? Daisy Lynn's other channel, Ninja Channel. Yeah. And Ganda Daisy. That's fun. We have Teddy Bear. So listen, one thing's for sure, Daisy Lynn is in the house. In some kind of reincarnation or carnation, I should say. Daisy Lynn is here. No doubt about it. Hey, Lazy Larry. Lazy Larry Lee is here. Hello to Knitban. Yeah, if you're back in town, that's really nice. How was your trip? Knitban, how was your trip? Tim is in the house. Yeah. Tim from Pampanga, Angeles City. How do you say it? Angeles City. I never say it right. I always wanted, that's because I was born and raised in Los Angeles. Man, oh man, this delicious coffee is filled all the way to the top. I wish you were here to enjoy this tasty cup of coffee. What are we going to start off talking about here? Yeah, I know I have to put up a link. Sooner or later I will. Wanted to start off talking about the exchange rate. Does anybody know what the rate is today? Someone can maybe flash it up there. The dollar to Philippine peso exchange rate is wreaking havoc all over the world, especially here in the Philippines. Yeah. And so I know a lot of expats are talking about it on their channels. They're going, yay, yay, I'm rich. It's gone up, what, 25% in the last couple of months? It's crazy. Keeps rising so fast. People keep running to the exchange, turning in their dollars and buying Filipino pesos, and then talking about it on YouTube. Well, the Filipino people are suffering from inflation. Well, the price of rice goes up, starts to skyrocket. Well, electricity and energy go up out of control in the Philippines. Yeah. And also in the United States, by the way, inflation is starting to pinch everybody in the United States, and this can't be a good thing. As a matter of fact, hurricanes have hit, a hurricane, which is a typhoon if it's north of the equator, or hurricane if it's north of the equator? Is it typhoon south of the equator? Don't the toilets flush in a different direction? Anyway, I'm not sure about all that. But anyway, good morning, Tim. I like to say that Florida is getting hit, bombarded, or has been hit. I hear that Disneyland is wiped off the face of the earth in Orlando. I'm not so sure about that factoid. Somebody please fact check me on that. Good morning, Mr. Porras Vlog. Thank you for being here. Larry Lee, hi from Daisy Lynn, the incomparable Daisy Lynn. Good morning, Daisy Lynn. Thank you for dropping by. We're going to be heading out pretty soon and having a donut in your honor at the Dunkin' Donuts this morning. I always try and dedicate one day at the Dunkin' Donuts to one of my dedicated subscribers. Today, that's you, Daisy Lynn Castro. Oh, you're listening at work. Okay. What are you doing work? Oh, you're working the swing shift? Bryce is in the house. Hi, Bryce. How are you? And Larice, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and a fine catch, if I do say so myself, is in the house this morning. Yes. Good morning. We have our coffee and a snack, but I'll be having a donut snack later, Larice, when Minnie and I get down to the Dunkin' Donuts, to the DD. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. I truly do appreciate it. Thank you for sharing, Bryce. And Knitband, I noticed. What? The picture? The picture? Good morning from Larice. And greetings all around. Oh, yeah. He says, I know you are a billionaire by now. Don't show off. Yeah, so, I don't know, Knitband. I wish I had a story of woe to share, but I just don't. Should I feel guilty because I don't have a story to share about how poor I am and how I struggled, day-to-day life in the United States and then had to transplant to the Philippines, to build a multi-million-dollar home? Should I have to, be down and out and for my YouTube channel to be a success? I realize, Knitband, I could have a very, very bizarre sense of humor at times, right? But anyway, yeah. But the truth of the matter is, I could live perfectly fine on an exchange rate of 30 to 1. It doesn't have to be, 60 or 70 to 1, I don't want it to be, as a matter of fact, because it hurts the Filipino people. Oh, let's see. I'm messing around with the lights. I apologize. So you saw that one light go on. Yeah, and I have a ton of lights in here, but I should have opened those drapes in the background all the way so I can get as much natural light in here as I possibly could. I've got, by the way, the noise, you'll probably hear the barking dogs. I did that last week too. The barking dogs, the chickens, the roosters, and the workers out there, that are still working on my project there, or our project, I should say. Yeah, that's the truth. So much inflation. Yeah, we're feeling it all over the place. We're feeling it in the cost of rice, because I don't know if you know it or not. I think one of the vloggers talked about it, that rice is somewhere at we import something like at least a third. I know, maybe even more, of rice is imported. You know, you'll go into the public market and you're gonna see things like native rice and rice from Japan and rice from China and all this stuff. They have it in different barrels, right? And the imported rice is way more expensive than the natural homegrown stuff. I recommend that everyone buy the homegrown stuff because that's the most nutrient-rich rice. And of course, when you're buying the homegrown stuff, then you're helping out the local economy, the local farmers. So, and you save a few pesos, you know, on the price per kilo. Oh, you listen to Daisy Lynn at work. Well, she appreciates that. I know that for sure. 143. I think for dropping the link, you're going to drop 143 is love you. Is that what it means? And also, if you want to drop your link, just put Dan down there in the comment section. It should drop your link. Yes, Larice. I did have a chocolate donut yesterday, along with my extra large cup of coffee. Yeah, the people down at the Dunkin' Donuts now know me very well. You know, they get my order ready when I come walking in there. Damn, yeah. Let's see if it did it. There you go. Sammy would be 143, right? Spread the love. Spread the love. 143 and damn. Yeah, most eligible bachelorette. And you were the most eligible bachelor until recently, Knitban. I'm not sure how all that went down. Tox, my good friend Tox has joined us. Good morning, Tox, from the Philippines. I think it's good evening in some parts of the United States, if not most of the United States. Fort Myers is where Larry says it hit the worst there, Larry. I'm hearing it was Orlando, you know. I'm hearing that they got lambasted. How do you say it? Anyway, they got smacked pretty good. So Philippines, Florida actually is kind of used to inclement weather, you know, because they get hit. I think usually doesn't it come in from the Gulf Coast, and this time it came in from the Atlantic. Somebody squared me away on that. But in any event, they got hit pretty badly, you know, and it's been a while. They're calling it a 500 year flood event, and that's pretty serious, you know. I mean, honestly, yes, I could pay all your bills. Yeah, send me an email. Yeah, with all your banking and transfer information, and we'll get right on that. Let me see what I got going on here. I'm going to follow my link here on my phone to see what's happening. Tox is here. Tox. Oh. Commercial sound. Feedback. Hey, Tox, did you win any of those duck races yesterday on Filipina Raquel's channel? I'm just curious. I was lurking. I wasn't there the whole time, but I saw, you know, the ducks were hard at it in the duck race. Let's see. I don't know. My commercials are running. I kind of feel weird if I were to hit the skip ad button. That wouldn't be right, would it? Would it be right for me to hit my own skip ad button? Hey, speaking of which, did my ad run prior to me coming live? I'm just curious about that. Just curious if I, because Larice told me last time that my commercials weren't running, and then I was like, what the heck? I thought they automatically ran if you just, you know, set the thing up in settings that say run all commercials. But I must have messed up somewhere because it didn't run. So I went in there and discovered that I have to manually do it. Tox says hello. And let's see. How do I? Tim says never go to the River City Dunkin' Donut House. It's a Dunkin' Donut that failed Dunkin' Health standards. Uh-oh. Yes, we're Tox. Don't we need to moderate you some kind of way, right? Let me see this. Let me see. Where's my magic? Yeah, here you go. All right, let's see what this says. Create. I think I have to do it from my phone. Do I? Tox. I don't want you hanging out there getting cold without a jacket. Let's see. Tox. Pin, add moderator. I'm still pretty new at this, Tox. I know you're a pro, you're an expert. I probably embarrass myself all the time, revealing that I'm low tech Dan instead of high tech Larry Lee, but it's okay. Let's see if I could set up a panel. Let's talk about this economy thing, this economic thing. By the way, if you're in the Philippines, what was your electric bill like? That would be a place to start off with. Let's talk about if you've noticed the price of goods, services, and energy starting to rise. Oh, by the way, I do encourage you to go into some of the other vlogs and take a look around, especially the vlogs where they're talking about this sort of thing. You know, when they're talking about inflation. Sammy Chavez has joined us. Good evening, USA, from Sammy. Good morning here in the Philippines. We have all the bases covered. Good morning to you, Robert. I think it's late for you, isn't it, Robert? Isn't it almost bedtime? Hello, Sammy from Knit Band. Yeah, of course. Knit Band, the mysterious man from the East, has been in the East. So maybe he is now in the West, but we'll have to see. Good morning, sister, from Loris, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, so I don't know what is the I'm going kind of slow through the chat, but did somebody look up the exchange rate for today to see where it's at? Oh, so South Carolina is getting hit now. Okay. But I thought it came in and it started to head south, sort of like in a that sort of formation. My kids are in Jacksonville, and it kind of like skipped over Jacksonville, even though they're getting bombarded with heavy rains and winds. Trees are being knocked down and all that sort of thing, but it isn't taking the roof off the kid's house. So that's a good thing. Who has a beautiful house in a nice neighborhood in Jacksonville. Of course, Jacksonville is a very nice city. Yeah. That's where the Navy decided to drop them off, and they never moved from there. 3 boys, all of them in Jacksonville. Yikes. Talking about going from the West Coast to the East Coast in half a generation. Oh, the ads ran first. Thanks, Larry, for that. Mildred, how are you this morning? Did you get your electric bill yet? What was that like? So I'm expecting, Minnie and I are waiting for ours. They usually come to the house, drop off the electric bill, and say, here's how much money you owe. People are telling me it's going to be a mega, mega, mega larger than large electric bill. More than any bill that I've ever seen in my entire life in the United States or anywhere else around the world. So, yes, don't be shy. Go to your favorite YouTube channel and donate often. Yeah, that's right. Well, you know, they're paying me now, so I don't mind. Yeah, it offsets the cost of donuts and coffee every morning by a little bit. So I'm happy about that. Tox, thank you so much for being here. You know, I appreciate you so much. Yeah, did you win any of those duck races from yesterday? Filipina Raquel. I'll have to go back and watch the replay. I like the duck races. Yeah, you're no tech. So we'll call you No Tech Larry. No, I wouldn't do that to you. But yeah, if we get in trouble, we just call Sammy and Sammy will fix it. That's all. Yes, donuts and coffee this morning. Hope you got yours, Daisy Lynn. Hope you got your coffee this morning. At least the 3-in-1 or some Copico, some Nescafe or some Copico. And Robert's here, loving, caring. Oh, wait, what I miss? Oh, well, you know, 2K, is that a lot for you, Daisy Lynn? 2K is, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I didn't mean to say, is it a lot for you? It's electric bills are expensive, and that sounds like a pretty expensive one to me. And so, I'm expecting one that's going to go over like 15K. So I'll be right back because I have a prayer in 10 minutes from now. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I saw your announcement. Nitban, you need to join my live stream tomorrow at the same time as Dan. $58.8. So it came down a little bit, but we slipped over. I think we were over 59 for a while, one day last week. Probably was Thursday because of the stock market sell-off on Friday. So it's adjusted itself on the higher side for today, but I'll bet you by next week, Tuesday, when everybody gets back to work and people start buying again, you're going to see that rate start to climb above 60. So I hate to say it, but I think you're going to see, you're going to see it's closer to 5.9. Yeah. So you're going to see this thing probably go up and over the top of 60. And it's probably going to do it fairly soon. Yeah, Nitban, Larry's doing a fine job on his live stream. Yeah. And Larice is such a hardworking YouTuber. It amazes me how hardworking she is. It scares me a little bit. Of course, so is Tox and Mildred. As a matter of fact, everybody in here, they're extremely hardworking, you know, and it amazes me that. But in order to make this thing, I understand it, because in order to make this thing go, it's a full-time job. I mean, people will forget about you overnight if they're not seeing you either in the live streams or constantly uploading, you know, videos. They're gonna forget that you exist. So that wouldn't be a good thing, because I am a very, very easy person to to forget. So I worry about that, I worry about not being around. Okay, so your electric bill with the parents is 3,500 pesos per month, sometimes 4K, and that's why I'm working so hard to get your solar panels up. But Sammy, I know you got a premiere coming up, but if you get a chance to share with us how many watt solar panels you're going to put up there, because I think I saw one of your videos unboxing of a solar panel, and you were saying something like that. You need 10 panels, so they're sending you sent you 100-watt panels. So are you putting up 1,000-watt solar system, and then how much is that gonna offset your power usage? Are you going off grid, or are you tying into the grid, I guess is what I'm trying to ask. And that will sort of give me the answer as to what your objective is as far as solar. Because I've probably made it pretty clear that I'm not convinced. Oh, you cracked me up. Don't follow me, Larry. Don't follow me unless you want to be rich and famous, of course, and then it's okay to follow in my footsteps. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Sure, Larice, the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth about you. I don't lie, do I? I sometimes fabricate the truth. I don't lie though. I embellish a lot. You know what embellish? Well, anyway. That's what makes me the interesting character that I am, you know? So, yes, working hard or hardly working is the rule. Yes. But why do the work yourself when you could hire somebody to do it for you? Didn't you say you have a video editor that takes care of all the hard stuff, Tim? Oh, okay. You have a 400-watt solar panel. Okay, 400-watt. And that takes a lot of energy, Larry. I work hard at not working hard, but that takes a lot of energy. And so you need to rest and relax from that sometimes. Oh, you're going to do off grid. See, and so I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about pulling some appliances off. I'm not thinking about taking the whole house off grid. Then maybe you grab an AC unit, or maybe you grab a refrigerator, and you just make that exclusively reliant on solar panel. Refrigerator should be number one. AC should be number two, right? Both of those together, when it comes to electricity, suck a lot of juice. So that's why I think that those are the ones that should be attacked first. Yeah. Okay, hormone reveal. All right. Well, yeah, shots is shots, as I say, Sammy. Love and kisses, Larice. Okay. So, yeah, the solar system. Let's see. Oh, I'm delayed by 30 years. Yeah, I'm not saying that solar isn't a bad deal. It's just something that because of the power usage, I would have to have a pretty high wattage system. I probably would have to set up a 5,000-watt system to run the whole house, and I would have to have tons of battery storage, to convert that harnessed energy back into electricity when I needed to use it. And all that is expensive and requires maintenance. And I don't know if you guys have detected this or not, but I'm kind of not, I'm retired now. I don't know if I want to go through all that, and have to actually work and do something, check batteries every day, make sure my wattage output is correct for, make sure I'm harnessing enough power, in other words. Of course, the part that I do, the part that I do like is I like the idea that it's very godlike, and I like the idea of being a god, but I think that's blasphemy, right? I mean, I have the power, of harnessing the power of the sun. I think that it's going to take some convincing to go full on solar for me, But if I'm just going to put up, if you're not running a whole lot of appliances, right, and you've got a small house, I probably would have built, I probably would have built a solar into it some kind of way, because I mean, if you're only drawing, I don't know, if your electric bill is less than, $80 or $100 US, and they allowed you to go off grid, then I probably would have made an attempt to do that. So here they don't allow you to. I'm in the city limits, right? They don't allow you to go off grid, and so you would have to do that in secret because they want you to tie in so they could use your power. And they don't offer where they buy back power from you. It's a complicated application process where you have to pay a huge fee to offset the money they'll be missing. Listen, the whole thing works the same way, as far as I know, all over the world, right? If they're not gonna make any money off of you, they want to charge a high fee up front for approving your application to buy back energy on the grid if you're connected to the grid. So it would have to be a covert operation to set up solar as as an independent system, not tied into the grid. So it sounds to me like, Sammy, you're in a real better spot or position in order to make that happen. So break, donut and coffee break. Love you, Daisy Lynn. You know that. There you are, Daisy Lynn Castro. Oh, here you go, guys. Yo, Jeff. Jeff is in the house. You guys know, Jeff, $900 a month. Jeff is in the house. And so, Jeff, thanks for being here. I started off by talking about the exchange rate on the dollar, and also about the electric bill. So, electric bill and power, cost of power, and inflation, basically. Of course, I've had guests over here to the house, and you guys know who you are. Anyway, they'd come over, and I've noticed this reaction, though. I have noticed this reaction. They come in, they start looking around, and they start looking at the appliances and the AC unit and stuff like that. I could practically read their minds, what they're thinking, that, wow, like, wow, Dan's got a lot of appliances in here, air conditioning in every room, and 2.5 horsepower air conditioners, one in the kitchen, one in the living room. That's because, when Westerners come over here, they're not used to, they're not used to the humidity. Mostly the heat we are, because Minnie and I, we lived in Sacramento for many, 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 many years. But the humidity is a totally different animal. The humidity, sweating, it's a totally new experience, and it usually takes a couple of years for somebody to acclimate to the environment. And so I full well suspect that once I acclimate to the weather, to the humidity, that everything will be fine. But changing clothes 2 and 3 times a day, that's not something that I personally am used to, but I understand most Filipinos are used to doing that. I could be misspeaking about that, I've never actually walked up to a Filipino and asked them, um, you know, about that subject. How many times do they change clothes in a day? I'm not sure that's something that I could get by asking somebody. Excuse me, young lady, but how many times do you change your clothes in a day? Do you change them 2, 3, or 4? Dan's mini survey, right? Okay, Nipman says, Dan, it's hot and boring here in Sacramento. You are in a much better place. I feel that I am. I think that initially the first month of living abroad or traveling abroad was, there was a little bit of stress because you're trying to learn, your new environment and those types of things. And then you're carrying with you all the leftover junk that you're bringing with you from the States. And, we're all of crap, carrying around, and you have to dump all that stuff off. You have to dump off your Western way of life, your Western way of thinking. And the only way to do this successfully, I think, it's my own opinion, is you have to embrace the culture. You have to embrace the way that things are. If you don't make an attempt to embrace it, then I think you're doing harm to yourself and the people around you. What did I read from my mind? Why did Dan? Oh, I know. Jeff, what I read from your mind is, why did Dan build in this hellhole? Which you already know. The decision making mostly was my wife's idea and her decision, because it was her money. It was her money. Yeah. So most of you don't know. I think most of you in here, how this house came to be, right? I mean, quite frankly, I don't mind sharing with you, because I think it's fun to talk about that. I got a lot of nasty grams from people in the beginning. When I started Dan's retirement journey, and then started building the house and started showing those videos online, all of a sudden people started, men were messaging me saying, oh, as soon as that house is built, your wife is going to leave you, and she's going to take all your money. And I got news for you guys. My wife already has done that, but we're still married. At first I was a tiny bit offended. And then all of a sudden I said, I think I just better explain that I should let them know that the money that's being used to build the house is my wife's money. And so all those things about not having property or real estate in your name, they mean absolutely nothing to me. It's a Western concept. It's a charade. It's an illusion. It doesn't mean anything. As long as you have a place to live and a roof over your head, and nobody is kicking you out onto the street, you're in a good spot, I would say. Whose name property is and how much rent you're paying and all that stuff is all relative to how much, I think, enjoyment you're getting out of life. Oh, 12 degrees Celsius. Dang, 57 degrees that would be quite comfortable for me. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I should explain that. No, I never had I never had that kind of a problem as far as the money thing goes. I never had to approach that, because we have in the States, for Filipinos that are listening, for others that are listening that don't know this, we have in this thing, it's called community property, and I lived in a community property state. So basically it means that whatever you accumulate during the marriage belongs to both parties equally. See, that's what we have in California. So that means that, it's not mine, it's not yours, it's ours, right? And so, but my wife and I came to an agreement early on, almost immediately. I said, what you need to do is you need to concentrate on saving money in order to build the house so that you could fulfill your dream. That was my commitment to my wife, Minnie. So, Dan, she did not take it. You gave it to her willingly. Yeah, because see, this came up yesterday too. I mean, we were joking with the brother-in-law, Jill. We were talking about a little bit. We touch on a whole bunch of subjects, and usually it's a schizophrenic type conversation because we bounce around a lot when we talk, right? We seem to be able to read each other's minds, what we're thinking. And yesterday it comes up, that about taking, that having this image of when you move on from this materialistic world and you go to the nether world, how much cash you will need, and so, so in the beginning, someone might dump a barrel or two of cash and jewelry and things in your grave when they're putting the dirt over it, but it won't be there the next day. Because my relatives would be in there pulling all the money out. Yeah, and going and enjoying their lives, right? So. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Yes, anytime. Come over today. We'll drink. We'll drink and we'll turn the air conditioners on full blast. In spite of the fact that I will end up with a 20,000 peso electric bill. So, oh, you're back. Did you enjoy your? Hey, I didn't know. I didn't know we were. We were crossing paths on that premiere. Yeah, I mean, I saw the announcement, but I didn't see the time. So, yeah, I always like free beer. Yeah. I didn't mean to get on the subject of alcoholic beverages, but beer is pretty inexpensive here. I mean, you can get a quart of San Miguel, whatever your libation is. You can get a quart of it for, very cheap, something like less than $2 or something like that. Mr. LA is in the house. Dodger Blue. Nitban said, I was thinking about it. My parents always helped their siblings. I never seen that in the West. That's right, Nitban. That I think I touch on it all the time, maybe because I like creating controversy or throwing stuff in people's faces. But this is not the Western culture is a me culture. And if you're, as you know, Nitban, when you go to the East, since you're from the East, by the way, the mysterious man from the East, well, then that it's the polar opposite. It's the polar opposite, and so you and in my opinion, it's a better way of living. My parents always helped their siblings, but so your parents did not kick you out of the house once you turned 18, Nitban? They didn't say, okay, you're 18, you're an adult, get the hell out of my house. In other words, it seems at times that parents can't wait for their kids to turn 18 or go off to college, to get them out of the house, kind of like kicking a bird out of the nest, a newborn bird. Fly, birdie, fly or die. Here's your chance, and you kick them out of the nest, right, and away they go. So maybe that's just a natural law that I didn't learn about in school. Of course, I didn't do very well in school, so I admit I may have missed that lesson. When they talked about natural selection and stuff like that. I should go back and learn a little bit more about that. But anyway, big, huge differences between the way they raise children in the West as opposed to the way they raise them in the East. I can give you one example. I know that I've talked about it before. For example, right, the kid goes for the light socket. So here in the West, they slap the kid's hand, say, "Don't touch that. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Bad, bad, bad." So think about think about what you're doing when you're smacking a kid, a little tiny baby, you know, when you don't want them to harm themselves. Think about this for a second. You're harming them by, and then telling them, I don't want you to hurt yourself at the same time. Do you guys get that? Here in the East, they don't do this. They don't do that. That's not the way they do it, right? They say what they do is, what I have seen done is this. They see the kid crawling towards the electric socket, and then they lift the kid up before they reach the socket, and they give them a hug, and they place them down away from the socket. And they said that is the type of kid that is going to be interested in engineering. They say to the kid that you are a child that would become a doctor because you're interested in science. You are the child that will be very, very successful in life because you have a curiosity about that electrical plug. And then they'll go over and they'll plug a light in, and they'll educate the child, showing this is power that turns on light. See, so this is for good. It's not for evil. But what is good can also harm you. You see, they turn it into a lesson. They turn it into a learning opportunity. And of course, next thing you know, you have a child 18 years later who's a genius in calculus, a genius in algebraic equation, and is working for NASA. Is working for NASA, building the next rocket ships to the moon. That's how they do it in the East. That's a huge difference between Western and Eastern culture. You know, kids don't understand that. Western culture is like the Old West, every man for himself. Exactly the truth. And so there was an author, I remember I read a book. The book had something to do with, what was it called? Well, dang it. It was a social science book. That's probably why I can't remember it. Civilization in the West, it's an oxymoron. There's no such thing because we were born of an uncivilized society. You see, that's why that book tanked. It's because there's no such thing. You know, there's no, you're not civil, nor are you civilized if you're from the West, particularly the United States. Because when you start traveling, you're going to discover this. If you have traveled, you already know this. Okay, have a good workout, Jeff. You know, Coach Mavs, he's trying to get me over there, you know, to bulk up. And I know it's going to happen. It's not going to happen today, but it's going to happen someday. Robert is in the house. Go over and sign up for Robert's YouTube channel. Yeah, so like I said, it's tickling 59 and quite possibly could hit 60 very, very soon. And so we were talking about how that could be a good thing or a bad thing or both, you know. In other words, you know, people here in the Philippines were experiencing inflation, and it's hurting my pocketbook as much as it's hurting anybody else's. I mean, I have to go shopping. We have to buy food for the house, you know, and the cost of goods is starting to go up. I mean, everything is moved around here by ferry boat, by airplane, by, you know, we're islands, right? And so it's not that easy to get Amazon packages delivered to your front door. Oh, by the way, if you guys watch Gio in the Philippines, he did a video about how you spend so much money and Amazon will ship packages free of charge, free shipping to the Philippines. So someone fact check that. No, Gio, you don't need to fact check Gio. Gio is always right, never wrong. So, so forget that. Don't go tell Gio that I said he needs to be fact checked. No, just go to Amazon and order your underwear and stuff like that. You spend so much money, they'll ship it to the Philippines for free. Nip Ann says, I went to college when I was 17. They missed me since, or so they say. See, if you're from the East, you start going to school in the West. If you, I mean, I consider myself to be a fairly keen observer of the human condition. You notice people that come from different places, and you start watching to see how they do things, how they study, particularly how they study, how well they do in school, how they learn. And if you want to be a successful human being, also in the West, you can take lessons from them. No, not music lessons necessarily or singing lessons. I'm talking about you study them to see. Has anybody ever told you that if you want to be rich, you have to hang around with rich people? Well, what they're saying is if you want to be poor, you start hanging around with poor people. So if you want to learn something, you have to hang around with the learned, you see, and the people will guide you because they also want you to be successful in your endeavors. So I think YouTube is the best example of that, because YouTube, you'll see people supporting one another no matter what. You spend an awful lot of time in their lives supporting each other because they realize that when you help somebody else out, you're helping yourself. Oh, wait. Isn't that Calvin's mantra, Sunshine Shoulders? Where he says, I have to go out and help somebody today, and yes. That probably is one of the keys to his success, is that he goes out and he's deliberate, and he consciously thinks about, I'm going to help somebody today. I better not forget to do this. After you do this a couple of times, it becomes secondhand. It becomes part of who you are. It becomes a natural thing to do, Larry says, when I turned 18, my father said after high school, I need to move out or get a job and help with the bills. I joined the Navy instead. But that's an interesting statement, really, for me, Larry, because I'm thinking, so were you saying inside, oh, I'll show my father, I'm going into the Navy, and so they'll support me, or were you doing it in retaliation, for the way that your father treated you? You see, because I did a lot of things, where in my early years where I had said to myself, oh, I'll show him, right? And so now later on, of course, when you become, when you're able to support yourself, become moderately successful in my mind's eye is, where you reach the point where you don't have to call or ask anybody for help, for money, and so when you so anyway, I don't know if that's how you look at it, right? If you reach that point in life, in my opinion, you're considered to be a successful human being. And so was that what were you trying to prove something to your father that you didn't need his help in order to sustain yourself? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I eventually will get around to spitting out what I'm thinking. Virtual hug for my beautiful friend, Laurice, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette, and a mighty fine catch, if I do say so myself. Robert, are you just being nice, saying that you agree with me? Are you just being nice to me? I mean, because you are a fantastic, caring, and loving human being. That's how I view you. And so it's okay to say to Dan, oh, you're full of it, Dan, you're full of crap. Michelle, how are you this morning, Michelle? That is, if you're in the Philippines, it's a mighty fine morning. I hear the guys working, so that means it's not pouring down rain. Oh, by the way, as far as acclimating to your environment, I love the Philippines tropical weather, So a lot of people come here and they complain and blah, 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 blah. Not me. And not the people that I hang around with. I don't hear much complaints from anybody around me. Oh, hey, but it does remind me. I know I'm jumping all over the place as I usually do, but there is there are, I should say, a lot of expats here in Bye Bye City Leyte. And so if you think this is a small, teeny tiny provincial town, it is, but except that it's being discovered and new expats are moving in every day. So they have a huge expat community, and they go over and they meet at Izzy's Burgers once a week. I have yet to get over there. I'm not sure, I'm not sure if the expat is my thing, the expat community, group meetings and stuff is my thing. But they are there, they are there. Oh, yeah. So Dodger Blue, that does have an impact. Did you get what I just said there? Impact. Broke my leg in 7 places. You see how I am? Dodger Blue. I always do that. I have no idea where it comes from. But 2 weeks after the cast came off, I was going to college and working. And that is a very similar experience that I had also, Dodger. I got hit by a car when I just got told, that I'd gotten a job. I was going to school at LA Trade Tech College, downtown Los Angeles, and I had applied at the music, what was it called? The Music Center Pavilion for, that place where they hold the Academy Awards. I was hired as an apprentice chef or garde manger, the garden master, the vegetable guy, the salad guy, basically. And I said, well, here's the kind of straight-laced kid I was, right? I'm like, I think I'm gonna get on my motorcycle, my Road 250, and go across to the 7-Eleven and get a Coke. Oops. Advice from Dan: don't ride motorcycles through yellow lights. Because if there's someone in that left lane, that left turn lane, they're going to hit you. And that's what happened to me. My parents paid the bills till I was 21 and graduated with a degree. Good for you. That's what I call a very supportive family. And that's the way I think that most parents should be if you can afford it. But you certainly wouldn't want to dissuade them from their goals. You would want to encourage them. Yeah. And I have seen parents that have gone to their kids and said, why bother wasting your time in college? You're never going to amount to anything. Can you believe saying that to your own kid? Why bother wasting the money going to college because you won't amount to anything anyway? Holy smokes. Larry says, Dodger, I graduated in 72 and I went into the Navy in March of the same year. I'm working on my solar panel now to work out my 24-volt system. I'll send you a picture of what I'm going to do. Okay. Hey, where'd you learn how to do it? Did you learn how to do it on YouTube? Or did you watch others in your community do it and then you learned how to do it by watching them? I am curious about it, Sam. I want to know how you learned how to do it. Is it as simple as going from solar panels to inverter to battery storage back through the inverter to the house? That's what I'm kind of curious. I mean, if it's that simple, then I might take a refrigerator or two offline and do solar, or I might take an AC unit offline and do it solar. But I don't want to pay tens of thousands of dollars or whatever it is in order for someone to come in and set up a solar panel system for me when you could do it yourself. And so by doing it yourself, Sammy, you're kind of encouraging me that if I studied, I could probably learn how to do it myself, even though I'm low tech Dan, So, yeah. See, so that's another way of bulking up. That's the other way. And it can happen probably just as quickly as lifting weights. By the way, since Coach Mavs and I spend so much time together, of course, we're going to be hanging around with his weightlifting friends, right? And so they're eventually, I imagine I'm going to end up in the gym anyway, because, that's the way things work. I mean, you hang around with the folks and then all of a sudden you're in the gym, working out with them, talking about politics and stuff like that, where you're lifting, stuff like that. Listen, I don't know I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. You're making a mistake if you're listening to anything that I have to say and then putting it into practice. I guess it's more fun just to listen to what I have to say than it is to actually put it in play. Filipina Raquel, I was lurking in the duck races yesterday, Filipina. Hey, I just want to let you know that I stopped by and I was lurking inside the channel. I didn't get a chance to let you know I was there. Something was going on around me. I can't remember what that required my attention, but I had you on my phone and I had you on the big screen TV, and I was going to chime in, but something was happening that needed my attention. You know what happens when people, they need your attention, for 15 or 20 minutes. Yeah. I went and talked to the Air Force recruiter in 85. I got the book to take the placement test. Then I broke my leg. After that, they didn't want me because they were downsizing. I remember that. I remember going down to selective service. Yeah, so I was born in 57. So some of you figured it out. So here's Dan. Right? Going down to selective service. So I'm going walking down to selective service. And then I go knocking on the door because it's locked. Nobody seemed to be in there, right? And I knocked on the office door. Nobody's opening the door. So I start walking away. And then all of a sudden I hear the door opening. I turn around and look, and what do you want? Well, I'm here to sign up. And they go, sign up for what? Selective service. It's time for me to put my name in. And they go, kid, haven't you heard? You no longer have to sign up for selective service. I go, I don't? No. They don't need you. They don't want you, And I was like, huh? He goes, yeah, get out of here, kid. And sent me away. So there you go. I know. It was the post office or something like that. They had a sign that said selective service, something like selective service office. No, he knew that I was wanting to go into the service my entire life. Oh, okay. So why, instead of saying, if you stay here past 18, why don't you just say it's time for you to go sign up? Wouldn't that have been a simpler thing for your pops to say? Go sign up, Larry, it's time. I'll see you in 4. I'll see you in 6 years. Something like that. Oh, yeah. Where is my beautiful wife anyway? Good morning, Filipina. She's around here someplace. I think she's in the other room, or maybe she's supervising the workers. I'm not sure where she is. Meow from Knitband 2. The incomparable Raquel, Filipina Raquel. Good morning, everyone, from Filipina Raquel. If you guys don't know who Filipina Raquel is, then you need to go find out. So that's all I got to say about that. Seems that everybody in the live probably knows who Filipina Raquel is, but if you don't, go find out. You need to go find out. He just wanted me to know there's no free ride. Either work, go to college, or make something of your life. Well, check this out. So what do you do in a country where there's absolutely no opportunity or very limited opportunity, right? Would you make that statement to your kid? See, and that's why the culture is different, right? Because, people they're required to make a contribution, but it comes in different forms. Right. And so as you were pointing out, he said, well, you'll either have to work or go to school or contribute to the bills or whatever it is. But so in the Philippines, I suppose it works the same way in that all family members from the time they become old enough to work, 13, 12, 13, 14 years old, have a responsibility to make a household contribution. And that could be almost in any form. So like the young lad or young woman can go out to the pier and throw in a fishing pole and then bring home fish for the family. That's the contribution that they're making. So, but they don't have to be told to do that. It's an accepted part of the culture. But then again, no one is going to come to them at 18 saying that you have to leave the home or get a job. See, because they know that the opportunities are limited. So it's not part of this culture. And then you're required to. It's a requirement. It's also something that no one has to talk about because it's part of the culture that your responsibility would be to your parents forever from until the day they die. So that's how it is here, and that's how it is for some people in the West, but mostly not. Tim, hello. Of course, Raquel, Tim's in the Philippines too, not too far from where you live. Tim is only a 45-minute drive, Filipina Raquel, from where you're at. Maybe you guys ought to get together, share a cup of coffee. Larry says hi. Pink. Hey, thank you so much for being here. This is kind of like early morning for you, isn't it? Because I mean, your lives, they go on forever, like 3, 4, 5 hours after midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning. So we miss you. We're going to have to come see you. Listen, there's a plan in the works. I can't share right now, Pink. But I think we'll be up that way again. I'm almost sure of it. And then, of course, seeing everybody like Larice and Daisy Lynn and Raquel and yourself will all be on the agenda again. And so we'll see what happens. I can't promise right now. I can't promise, But I think that Minnie and I, once this work is done, around the house, then we'll be making we'll be putting on our travel backpacks and start traveling around again. Dumaguete or Negros Oriental will probably be one of the first stops. Probably one of the first stops is going to be to see Sammy, and then we'll start. I don't know, because it's been a long time since I've been to places like. Thank you for sharing, Pink. It's been a long time since I've been to Boracay and things like that, and I haven't been to Palawan. There are different places I'd like to go, and now is as good a time as any to get started, seeing what the rest of the Philippines has to offer. And of course, I've got to do the obligatory, walking down the Bay Walk and Dumaguete. Everybody has to do that. Every vlogger has to do that. Hi. Well, I'm down here on Dumaguete. I'm down here on the Bay Walk. Oh my goodness gracious. It's like a must for any YouTuber, right, Raquel? It's like almost a must do. If you don't do it, then something's wrong with you. Your YouTube subscribers will desert you. Oh, my goodness gracious. Pink, I'm so happy you're here. Yes, Mammy Filipina. DK. What do you say? DF. So yeah, we had so much fun with hanging around with Pinky Gray in Manila that it's one of the highlights so far of the entire coming over here. The whole experience, was hanging out with Pinky Gray in Manila for a few days. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Hey, I'm doing okay. I could be better. You know what I mean? But no, the truth is, life doesn't get any better than this, Michelle. Life does not get any better than what I got going on here. Meow, meow for the pinkster. Oh yeah, the duck race. Yeah, it's so fun, the duck races. I don't know why that's so much fun. I really, really enjoy, the duck races. Maybe I should do it. I don't want to steal your shtick, Filipino Raquel, but maybe I should have, you know, duck races or something like that. uh, Four wheels win every time, Dan. Yeah. Oh, by the way, don't miss Larry's live stream tomorrow. Yeah, it's a must see. He has a very resonating, calming voice. I'll bet you, I'll bet you that if Larry, if you want to study hypnosis and then talk to people in that very calming, resonating voice, you would be very, very successful. I think that the problem would be that on YouTube, right? That you'd end up hypnotizing everybody. But if you did, you would hypnotize them and put subliminal suggestions in their brain, right? Where you'd say, "Watch Larry, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell." You could put that in their subconscious mind, and they'll do it. They'll watch you. They'll grow your channel. Oh, you just woke up. You had a late night. No, it's still kind of early, isn't it? What time is it anyway? See, I don't even know what time. 8:14. We've already been going. We've been going for a little while. So I thought I was going to do a panel, but I'm probably not. I'm probably not. Yeah. It's just after 8 p.m. in the States. Is that Friday night? Sis Larice from Pinky Gray. Larice, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette, and a mighty fine catch, as far as I'm concerned. Donuts bulk you up quicker than working out. Yes. Okay. Thanks. Hey, Larry, I appreciate you pointing that out. I really do. So we're going to put this on the back burner, and then we'll go down to the Dunkin' and we'll start bulking up on some eclairs and some. We'll bulk up on some Bavarian cream donuts, my favorite. By the way, just like to let you know that the Bavarian cream donuts taste exactly like the Bavarian cream donuts that I remember in the States growing up. Mm-hmm. Very, very tasty and satisfying. Absolutely, Philippine. Absolutely. Let's see. Never have your solar panels hooked to your controller without the batteries hooked up. Controller will fail immediately. Oh, really? I wonder if Sammy knows that. Let me see this. I'm going to read it again. Never have your solar panels hooked up to your controller without the batteries hooked up. The controller will fail. All right. Huh. All right. Well, that's news that we could all use, I'm sure. I wonder how long you do it, sir. 20, 30 minutes. I wonder if it's your beautiful wife. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. My beautiful wife was distracting me. That's for sure. She's always distracting me in some kind of way. Honey, do you have a few extra pesos in your wallet? I'm going to go downtown to the public market. By the way, I do have a video. I'm not sure it's in the can yet, but I have a video coming up where I think it's Minnie and I going downtown or going to the Dunkin' or something. So we're gonna start featuring Minnie in some of the and more of the videos. And then Pinky Gray was saying that you get it's good for the algorithms to start uploading shorts. And so no, not shorts you wear to the beach. They're talking about short videos because I think that they're trying. I'm not sure they're trying to compete with TikTok, but they see the marketing genius in monetizing the shorts, I think. And so for a variety of different reasons, some of you probably understand, but yeah, I'm all about making 30-second videos. Yeah. Maybe Daisy Lynn, maybe you can do 30-second songs and then upload them to, is it 30 seconds or 1 minute? I don't know. They're short videos and you upload them as shorts on YouTube. No, not those kind of shorts that you wear to the beach. Virtual hug for you, Larice. Dodger Blue, Filipina says, hey. Dan, I went to a top college, but it cost my parents less than $10K, including boarding and everything. I won't send my future kids to an American college. Whoa, good for you. Good for you, Nitban. That's the way to do it. Man, I didn't realize we had so much in common, Nitban. Let's see. Someone's messaging me right now. Let me just take a look. Say, oops, no, can't read that one. Can't read that one on the air. Whoops, can't read that one on the air either. That one we'll have to talk about. I'll get back to you later on that one. That's so interesting what happens during the live stream. Yeah, it's so interesting. Very, very interesting. Dan, my younger brother was a year younger than you, and he was happy that he did not have to sign up for selective service. Yeah. After I thought about it, well, I was slightly stigmatized by it, though, Larry. See, here's the whole thing. Later on, right? Like, for example, when you're going to work and stuff like that, at the time they were asking, when you applied for certain jobs, they would say, are you a veteran? And if not, have you applied for selective service? You click the box that says no, then they wanted the reason why you didn't apply for selective service. And then you'd have to educate them and say it wasn't required for me to apply. But it was a tiny bit, if I could recall, it was a tiny bit stigmatizing for a few years, during that period of time. I don't know if you remember anything like that, but people that served in Vietnam, or those who were required to serve, they were a little bit miffed by that fact. My brother, by the way, yeah, I think he's your age. I think he's how old is my brother? 67 or 68. I believe he did have to apply. And that's when everything started to wind down. But I was worried. I was worried about my brother having to go. But things were already winding down by that time. Man, I'll tell you, they must be working hard out there in the back 40. Because I could hear them cutting up rebar. Thank you, Filipina. I appreciate it. Michelle's still with us. There's Pink. What did I say that was so funny? Good vibes. Good vibes. What's going on in Iloilo? Iloilo. Larry. Wow, nonstop traveling. Well, you got to do this stuff on the front end, Pinky, when you get to be my age. I know that, Minnie, she's got a few more years to look forward to. On my end, maybe not so many years. And so you kind of have to front load all the traveling plans. Oh, which reminds me, I've got a friend who's going to relocate to Thailand, a really, really good friend who is the whole reason behind how I started traveling and learning that there actually was the rest of the world out there that need to be explored. And so I owe a debt of gratitude to my friend Dave, who's going to be transplanting himself from the Sacramento area to Bangkok, Thailand. And so I'm looking, I hope, since you don't know who he is, yeah, I'm sure I didn't give you his last name. And so, but here's the thing, he and his family have been traveling for a very, very long time. One of the reasons why, so he's not a newbie to traveling around. He's traveled all over the world, and so has his family. So has his siblings. And the reason why, mostly, is because I think he was born that way, right? Because he was born of a military family, and so they did a lot of traveling around to bases all over the world. I don't know the whole story. We've never actually sat down and discuss the whole story, of how he moved and how many different places he lived around the world. But when you're born and raised that way, it becomes a natural part of who you are. And I noticed right away that we were different, Yes, Palawan, better go to El Nido and Coron. Yep, I agree. And so he said, "Hey, Dan," so he probably was being very nice, and he would probably listen to me spew my diatribe, because I've never changed. I've always been this way. I can't be saved. And then he came to me and approached me one day and said, "Hey, Dan, you got to go. You got to. We have a. How about you travel with us? We think we like. You'd like it okay if you tagged along with us." And so I was single at a time. It was during one of my 12 or 15 years that I was single. I think I'd gone through my second divorce or something like that, and started to go along with them. And so started realizing that, hey, there's this beautiful world out here, waiting to be explored. Yeah. It's still hot. The coffee's still hot. So, and so Dave was the one that I blame. No, that I credit with getting me off the butt of the office chair to go around and start exploring all what the world has to offer. Of course, it's interesting. You'll get, when coworkers start finding out you're traveling, especially to Southeast Asia, you have to take a lot of crap from them. Yeah, it's amazing how much crap we always had to take. Like, what are you going over there for? How come you're going to? Most of my friends, they wouldn't think about going to Southeast Asia. They're always saying, "Yeah, I'm going to go to Europe. La da, I'm going to go to France. I've always wanted to go to Italy." Blah 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 blah. Good luck with that. Been there, done that. Wrote the book. I'm not impressed. But you go to Southeast Asia, completely different personality, completely different culture, and most people won't venture over to Southeast Asia. Why? I have no idea. But Bangkok, for the year prior to the pandemic, right, was the most visited tourist destination in the world for several years in a row. Of course, now it's fallen off a little bit, but they'll make a comeback, Oh, the Why Not Bar. Why not? Bar? Yeah. I left my heart in El Nido last time I visited. So there's the validation that we need for visiting El Nido right there. Quack, quack. Filipina Raquel enjoying the diatribe that I'm laying out there. That's all about having fun. Quack, quack. It's all about having fun. Yeah, it's fun, but you have to actually work at doing that. You have to write down everybody's names, make sure that they have a duck. If you get 30 people in the stream, you have to give each duck a name. You got to get 30 ducks together, to race. Oh my gosh. Yes, donate money. There you go. Filipino Raquel. Yes, we're family then. Exactly. That's how I feel about Filipino Raquel. We're family. Landcar is here and brought donuts and coffee for everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Well, you see, then El Nido it is, El Nido it is. One of the things that you just have to do. There's the lovely Larice with virtual hugs for everyone. Just so long as she isn't hitting you upside the head. Oh, was that Minnie? Yeah, she's constantly doing that. That's why I have those, those ticks. What is TikTok? Sammy can educate you on what TikTok is. I'm totally and completely lost. I have no idea what a TikTok is. 30 seconds or 1 minute videos or whatever. I think that Knitband, I think YouTube is making a big push, and they're rewarding you with positive algorithms, that help promote your channel. They keep sending me tons and tons of emails saying, Dan, how come you haven't uploaded any shorts lately? Yeah, no, Knitband, not those kind of shorts. Short videos is what they're talking about. Yes. Yeah, I'm constantly being distracted. Yes. In the chat room here on Messenger. Enjoy your dinner, Dodger Blue. We'll see you on Larry's Live tomorrow. 1978. Yeah. 78, you turned 18. Let me think about it. So how many years was selective service? How many years did you not have to sign up? So it must have been something like 2 or 3 years. Meow. Meow. Larry says, my older brother's draft number was 27. Had he rushed down to the recruiter's office and joined so he rushed down to the recruiter's office and joined the Navy. Yeah, he had a low number. He was going, apparently. The Navy probably was his best bet. The second was probably the Air Force. That would have been my thought. Yeah, Iloilo is a very interesting and beautiful place. I wouldn't mind living there myself or visiting there. So, yeah. Yeah, I like the YouTube channel Texas Filipino, where he built that beautiful home on the beach. Okay, well, I'd like to say enjoy doing your laundry, but believe me, I know what all is involved in doing your laundry there in the Philippines. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. So, okay, Larice. Dan, the service teaches you that. Sauna all hot. And Daisy Lynn Castro is still with us, if not in the background. I think you go live pretty soon, don't you, Daisy Lynn? Nightbot appears to be doing their job. That's right. There is a lot of people do talk about it, and very, very few people actually make the move. That's what Tim's saying. Most people are all talk, but they don't have the courage to take the chance to travel overseas. I think that there's a certain amount of truth to that You have to have a pioneer spirit. I mean, I've noticed that we're different. That's all I've that I mean, that there are characteristics that are very, very similar in an individual's personality that I run into. Yeah. I mean, I've talked to expats and I'd swear they were telling my story. They were the same exact story. The names have changed, but the incidents were all the same. The circumstances were all the same. Very fascinating. So yeah, I agree that there's commonality in the type of people that end up over here, especially those that move here. I can never get my ducks in a row. Is that a duck joke for Filipina Raquel? You need to go in there and watch her duck races. You need to be a participant. You'll get a mighty fine duck in there, Larry. Eddie Centeno is here. I think I said Centero in my vlog. Now that I think about it, Eddie, I apologize about that. It's such a unusual name. I don't know how common that name is, but Centeno is the first time that I've ever seen it. So, hello, Eddie. Welcome to the live. Oh, I couldn't get my ducks in the same pond, let alone in a row. Sometimes, it's just plain luck that you end up over here. That's how I view it. You're just lucky. The moon, the planets align, and you end up over here. I realize there are a lot of military or ex-military that live here, but a lot of the ex-military, they're relocated here. They're passing away. They're going to the Great Buffalo Hunting Ground. And so there's another generation of folks that are coming in here. You see a lot of young people, for example. I mean, there's our share of older retired people. There always will be, but there's also the young digital nomads moving into the area, taking over, doing videos for a living, that sort of thing. And so I think the demographic is changing a little bit. Oh, you want to see the river walk? Okay. You want to see the river walk here in Bye Bye City? Yeah, the Navy teaches you to enjoy traveling all over the world. But believe it or not, Larry, I've actually had a friend or two tell me that even though they were in the Navy, they had a fear of stepping off the ship based on information that other people had shared with them, their shipmates. Like, oh, no, you better not get off. You better not get off in the Philippines because they'll kidnap you. Abu Sayyaf will lop your head off and you'll end up on the end of a stick, something like that. So fear dictated there. But I realized that fear also dictated the majority of their life. Fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown. See? So, for example, you have to, my mantra, my motto has always been embrace change. It always has been embrace change. Have an open mind. And it'll help you. It'll help you adjust to traveling. It helps you adjust to living in a new place. You have to open your mind and have a new perspective on even life. The whole thing is you have to be willing to accept it and embrace it. You can complain. It's easy to complain about stuff. Oh, I wish it were like the West. I wish the Philippines were more like the West. Well, I got news for you. It's becoming more like the West every single day. All you have to do is be here and just look at some of the commercials that they're showing on TV. For the ones that catch my attention are the families getting together and going to Jollibee. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, I mean, so they realize how important the family is, right? But what they're trying to say to you is you and the whole family, because you love them, should go to Jollibee and get a spaghetti dinner. Why a spaghetti dinner? Because they're easing you into buying the more expensive food. Spaghetti is fairly inexpensive to make, and it's also that means they could sell it to you for less money. Their main objective is to get you into the door inside the Jollibee, and then once you're inside the door, if you have a few extra ducks in your wallet, then you can you can pay for the spicy chicken. But that's what's coming next. They don't push spaghetti in the States on the Jollibee commercial. They push spicy chicken in the States. Over here, it's spaghetti meal. That's because they know that most people can afford a spaghetti meal going into the Jollibee. That's Western advertising. And so it's sort of a precursor. It's sort of a warning to everybody, that don't be so quick to adapt to or adopt Western culture here in Southeast Asia. Mabuhay, Mike, how are you? Thanks for coming to the live. So, yeah, if you look at YouTube, right? So since we're YouTubers, and you start paying attention to the commercials that are directed, if you're here in the Philippines, for example, well, you wouldn't know this in the West because they're directing commercials towards you guys in the West. But if you're here in the Philippines, the commercials that they're running they would just like hit you right in the face. You'd know exactly what they were trying to do. And so they're trying to get you into the Jollibee to buy the spaghetti dinner because they know you don't have much money in your pocket. And you can get the spaghetti combo meal for whatever it is, not cheap, right? But they're getting you to, since the Philippines is family oriented, they're getting you all together as a family to go into the Jollibee to buy the family spaghetti dinner meal. So beware, Filipino friends, Filipina friends, beware of what's going on. That's Western advertising. I'm not saying it's good or it's bad, but make yourself consciously aware of what's going on when you see the commercial. In the West, you will think that you're not paying attention to it. That's the way they want it. They send subliminal messages into your mind about buying things, right? In the West, they don't care about your family. They care about you, only you. Let's see how we can get Dan inside the Jollibee so he can buy the very expensive multi-piece spicy meal dinner, right? That's what's going on. So that scares me a little bit because that means that they're starting to do that. Then it isn't long before we have everything here in the Philippines, that they have in the West. So you don't want to hear that commentary. You guys are learning me very, very well. I would give the commentary about that it'll be the beginning of the end for what you guys got going on here. That's the loving, hospitality, kind Filipino people and culture. That it threatens it, or in my mind's eye, it threatens it. But I could be totally wrong about that. Somebody, Larice, tell me that I'm wrong about the way that I'm thinking. Somebody say, no, Dan, we'll always be the loving, caring people that you've come to know and appreciate. Somebody say that to me. But no, I look at it as being a threat. So anyway, talking about the exchange rate and stuff, coming back to making a very brief comment about that again, so the whole thing is that you have a lot of expats that are buying pesos right now. They're buying pesos. I'm talking about the expat community, so they're busting out their dollars and they're buying pesos at the high rate. And the one reason why they're doing that is, a special 40-piece meal pack. Yes. Exactly, Mike. The reason why they're out there is because they're trying to take advantage of this exchange rate because they know it historically that it could drop just like that in a flash. So all of a sudden the government can come in. Maybe the Central Bank of the Philippines comes in and says, okay, enough's enough. We've been allowing the peso to float against the dollar, but now we're going to cap it. So some of you that don't know, we have countries that try to regulate the dollar or how much the value of their money is against the dollar by putting a cap on it. And then of course other countries allow it to float freely, so that it floats against the dollar. But it harms the economy of that country when you allow it to float. So most expats, they realize that, oh, we better go buy pesos. Well, the value is high in the event that it comes crashing down in the very near future. Oh yeah, it's like a grocery store in the West with the lost leaders and sucking you into buying other items that are expensive, right? And so that's a Western marketing gimmick, as you know, Tim. And I worry about it. I worry about it because it eases itself into the culture, and they realize that, why is the Philippines a target of Western advertising is because it's a very, very young population, average age or median age of 23, where the West is something like 34, 10 years older or more, right? And so, and in the West, here's another problem. There wasn't the transfer of wealth from the post-war baby boomers, folks in my generation, to the next generation. It hasn't occurred yet. It's because we're living longer lives. And then the other reason is we have no intention of giving our money to our kids. Go look it up and find out if I'm speaking the truth or not. And another reason would be is we have no more money left to transfer down to our kids because we paid it all in servicing debt that we accumulated. So now, so when you look at it, you're seeing Western brands coming into the Philippines, but they're not being targeted for expats. They're being targeted to the Filipinos, right? They're being targeted for, to that country. And so the packaging is smaller. It has the name brand, Hershey candy bar, all this other stuff, right? But the packaging is smaller, and that's scaled so that Filipinos can afford to buy it. So they're not targeting people from the West that live here. They're targeting people from the country here, the Philippines, to buy. But the fast food attack is the worst, because, I was just watching Filipina P, her latest vlog, where her and her friend are giving free food, right? And she did a very, very excellent job on this video. I commend her for doing it. She did such an excellent job because she included everybody. It wasn't just small children. Oh, we're going to feed the poor. She realized that in order to legitimize the giving away of food, if you will, she cannot discriminate against who she allows to have the free food. So that means that she was able to get the food and then give it to everybody, both old and young and people middle age alike. So it's not a charitable thing. It wasn't a charitable thing where it was targeting young children, because they're hungry. It was a thing where she realized that all she has to do is buy food and give it away for free. And she's not breaking any rules or regulations of the Philippines for having to establish a nonprofit organization. I think that's what it was about. But anyway, too much information, Dan. TMI. In one scene, somebody makes a comment. Oh, come over here and get free food. And I guess one of the kids says, oh, are you giving us free Jollibee? See, that's proof that the commercial's having an impact on the children, and that's who they're going to target first. So go watch the Filipina P's latest contribution to her YouTube channel, where her and her friend give away food. And you're going to see that part. Yeah, I have no kids, which is a good thing. A good thing. You can spend all the money on yourself. Yeah, so you go watch Filipina P's, live, and you're going to see that part where the kid said, oh, are you bringing us free Jollibee? And they're going, no, Jollibee. And they make the comment, Jollibee is what kids want most in the Philippines. It's a treat to be able to go into the Jollibee and be able to enjoy some of the food. And as YouTubers, we've been doing it. When we make donations, we would say, "Oh, take your family to Jollibee" and stuff like that. So I'm afraid that in the past I've contributed to this assault on the Filipino people by suggesting that people go to Jollibee. Nothing's wrong with Jollibee. I eat there. I enjoy their food. They have great, great chicken. The chicken joy is to die for. I recommend that you go to Jollibee. What I'm talking about is they're training people to go there through their commercials. Yeah, well, that's the best way to be, Tim. The best way to be is broke when you leave this planet, because it doesn't matter to anybody, really. No one's going to be thinking about you 10 minutes after they put you in the ground. Thumbs up. Mabel Torres, one of my most favorite YouTube vloggers in the world, who does the kind and good works of the YouTube community through the feeding sponsorship programs. And Lazy Larry says hi. So I think Mabel, so I think in the past I've called her Mabel. I think one reason is because back in the day, we had in the United States, we had this company. It was called Ma Bell. Yeah, it was a collaborative of all the telephone companies, right, that held everybody for ransom, right? Because you had to go to one of their companies in order to get telephone service. Those are the good old days. So in the past, when I looked at that, I said, I've heard Filipina Raquel refer to her as Mabel. So that must be how you pronounce her name. In the past, I've said Mabel. And so we have that name in the United States. And Mabel sort of reminds me of the corporation, structure that used to exist with all the bells and the baby bells called, some of you will remember it. Some of you will say, what the hell is Dan talking about? Ma Bell was the big, huge conglomerate of corporations that controlled telephone service for so many years in the United States. Hey there, Lazy Larry Lee, which everyone knows Larry is not lazy. And Larry has also admitted that many, many times on YouTube. The parents take the kids to Jollibee because they know that will make them happy. Well, yes, home run on that comment, right, Larry? But will it not make kids happy to go to the beach and have a barbecue? Will it not make kids happy to go to on a day trip, to a national park, that sort of thing? Daisy Lynn Castro is still with us. The incomparable Daisy Lynn Castro with that beautiful singing voice. Larry Lee says, Tim, I won't have much to leave anyone either. Yeah. Listen, my plan is not to have any money left when I know. Of course, I do have many to think about. So, there is that. Larry Lee, you can donate some of the money to some kids program if you want, if you don't have kids. That's right. And it just so happens that Ma Bell has a feeding program for kids. And she's very, very successful at it, raising money and feeding the children. So I really appreciate her for that. Yeah, the Monopoly Bell. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. I'm glad you remember that. Otherwise, I'm up here just I know I'm making a fool of myself most of the time, but then anyway, I just wondered if anybody remembered that Monopoly. Yeah. You can read my name any way you want. Well, yeah, but usually you want to pronounce a person's name, correctly. That's what I aim to do anyway. Yeah, party line. Yeah, I sure do remember the party lines. Those were very, very interesting, But hey, how could you not like the party lines? That they were a lot of fun. They were a lot of fun. I mean, as kids, we used to get on there and then talk to our family and friends by using the party lines. Yeah. Old guys know. Yeah, exactly. We know, we remember. You know, so Dan, which one is more rare for the kids? What's more rare for the kids? You mean, I think that they're used to, I think going to Jollibee obviously is more of an event because we have white sandy beaches all over the Philippines. There's no a shortage of white sandy beaches and places to barbecue here in the Philippines. So, but when you go to Jollibee, you get to brag to your classmates Monday morning that, my mom took me to Jollibee on Saturday or Sunday, and that you did. You got to go to Jollibee. What did you have? What did you have? Did you have the spicy chicken? Did you have did you have the chicken joy? Did you have what did you have? And it's more of an exciting event and story to share. So please connect to Larry Lee's channel. Hey, I got both Larry Lee and Larry. Oh, you dropped your channel name. Okay, I got you. Okay, cook breakfast. What are you having? Are you having tocino and eggs? I had tocino this morning. I had tocino and rice. Yummy, yummy. Because of monopoly of Bell Tilton is the reason for breaking up Microsoft and other companies. Yeah, I think Microsoft did have an antitrust lawsuit against them for a while, but I'm not sure how that all turned out. Yeah. And thank you so much, the incomparable Daisy Lynn at Castro. If you guys aren't signed up to listen to Daisy Lynn, you're missing a treat. I'm telling you. Nip Ben says, yes, Dan, I always have the spicy chicken joy meal. Yeah, exactly. That's what we like. Even in Sacramento, used to make that when we were sending something through LBC, right? We would go to the LBC. The next stop was the Jollibee on Mack Road. The Jollibee, we'd go in there, and of course, you're going to have the spicy chicken joy meal. Absolutely, Nip Man. Then, of course, we'd go over to Seafood City and go shopping. You guys remember, you know all those names, Seafood City, Chicken Joy, and LBC. So that was the three major stops on a Saturday or Sunday when Minnie and I lived in Sacramento. Virtual hug. Oh, no, I got the you got this. I got the you got this virtual character compliments of Laurice, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette, and a mighty fine catch. Dan, many of these younger people have never even used rotary phones. I know. Did you see a couple of the YouTube videos, right, where they, I don't know if it's YouTube videos or I saw it on TV, where they take a rotary phone to a kindergarten class, right? And all the kindergartners are carrying iPhones around, playing games and stuff like that. They take this rotary phone and they set it on the desk and they say, can you show us how to use this phone? And they just look at it and stare at it. What is this archaic thing? And they just stare at it. Can't figure out how the dang thing works. Yeah, Seafood City. And then where you can buy all things Filipino. Seafood City was the I think it's here in the Philippines if I'm not mistaken. I believe I was in Cebu and I saw a Seafood City. I'm not sure they're here on the island of Leyte. But when I was in Cebu, I saw Seafood City. What is Max's of Manila? It's like saying, what is Max's of Manila? Well, Max's is the famous restaurant chain that you'll see all over the place in the Philippines. So is Seafood City. And so they've opened up all over the United States. I think they have 6 or 8, particularly in California. I think they have something like 6 or 8 stores. And that's where all the Filipino community gathers for all things Filipino that they miss. They're very, very busy. Very busy. Yes, I never used a rotary phone. Yeah, you're just a kidling, Nitban. What can we say? You're just a kid. You're too young to remember such things. Yeah, if you ever see a rotary phone, you need to scoop that up. It's an antique. If you ever see one for sale at the flea market, they're as rare as those old glass Coca-Cola bottles, right? Which are a little easier to come by here in the Philippines because they still bottle Coca-Cola that way up in here, you know? So anyway, I think that I have talked myself out. You know, I think we must be approaching close to 2 hours, and I got a Dunkin' Donuts run that I have to head to. So I got to head over, see the guys down at the Dunkin' Donuts, let them know I'm still alive. I made it to another day. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here on the live. I had a blast. I hope you had a blast listening to my diatribe and my nonsense. And hey, let's do it again next week. But don't forget that Larry is on tomorrow. And so make sure you show up for Larry's live stream. I will be there. You be there. And also want to remind everybody that we have Coach Mavs, who has his own YouTube channel now. It's called Mavs Mixed Adventure. That must be one adventure mixed up. I'm not sure exactly, but it's called Mavs Mixed Adventure. And I should have put a link here, and I neglected to do that. So you guys all head over to Mavs channel and sign up. And I know Coach Mavs would truly appreciate that. Coach Mavs is probably down at the gym working out. It's probably where I should be. So millennials most likely know how to drive a standard transmission in a car truck. Millennials, only because I taught my kid. My kid's a millennial, so I taught him how to drive a standard transmission. Other than that, yes, donuts. Yeah. That's the Simpsons, right, Nitban? Donuts. 7 minutes away. I live 7 minutes away from the Dunkin' Donuts in downtown Bye-Bye City, Leyte. I'm heading there now. If anybody wants to show up out there, and I'll buy you a donut. So we'll look forward to seeing everybody after the live stream down at the DD. And you show up there, and I will treat you to the donut of your choice. Daisy Lynn Castro is live, I'm almost sure. Keep safe always, Sir Dan. You do the same, my Bill. Larice, meow meow to you. You guys got to get with Larice and try and hook up. You guys just got to get with Larice. There you go. Meow, meow, meow. Don't forget the duck races over at Filipina Raquel. And Larry is connected to Coach Mavs already. Thank you so much. Thank you always for supporting. Always will, my Belle. Always will. Promise. And now, Lazy Larry, take us out of this live stream. Take us out of this live. Larry Lee. I will, and you enjoy what you got going on today. Take care, Tim, Sammy, Robert, Dan in the Dunkin' Donuts is D3. Be safe always, Larice. Take care, everyone. Donut Heaven in about 7 minutes with Ma'am Minnie. Yes, it's going to be the chocolate frosted ones. You know it. Here we go. Here we go. Lazy Larry's going to take us out. Larry Lee. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, as always, have fun. And so, you guys remember, tomorrow, Larry Lee is on. And don't miss that beautiful, resonating voice. You will truly enjoy his stories. He has stories to share. Bye, Larisse. Bye, everyone. Love you all. Take care. See you on the other side. Bye-bye.